Welcome back to Bike Culture Hub. When we think about the Suzuki GS series, we're talking about a motorcycle lineage that stretches back to the late 1970s and early 80s, a period when Suzuki was solidifying its place in the middleweight motorcycle market. The original GS400 was one of those iconic machines that combined accessibility, everyday usability, and just enough performance to put a grin on the rider's face. Fast forward to today, and Suzuki has brought that heritage back in the form of the 2026 GS400 Neo-Retro, a motorcycle that doesn't just revive a nameplate but reinvents it for a new generation of riders. This is a bike that blends the charm of classic design with the reliability, technology, and refinement of a modern-day machine. In this review, we'll dive deep into what makes the GS400 Neo-Retro special, how it performs on the road, its design cues that nod to the past while embracing the future, its key features, and of course, where it sits in terms of pricing and value. The first thing to talk about is the engine, because that's the heart and soul of any motorcycle. The 2026 GS400 Neo-Retro comes with a 399 cubic centimeters parallel twin engine that has been tuned for smoothness, efficiency, and a linear power delivery. Unlike the original GS400, which was air-cooled, this modern engine is liquid-cooled, meaning better thermal management and consistency across different riding conditions. It produces around 48 horsepower at 9,500 RPM and about 38 Nm of torque at 7,000 RPM. Those aren't headline-grabbing numbers compared to high-performance sport bikes, but for a retro-styled middleweight, it's exactly what you want. It's enough to be fun on the open road and capable for spirited riding, but still approachable for newer riders or those who just want a stylish, reliable commuter. The parallel twin configuration also gives it a balanced feel, with minimal vibration thanks to modern balancing shafts. When you get on the bike and twist the throttle, what stands out is the predictability of the power. It doesn't overwhelm you with an aggressive surge but instead delivers a progressive push that's easy to control. Around town, the low to mid-range torque is very usable, making it nimble for city traffic and easy to filter through congested streets. Out on the highway, it will cruise comfortably at 100 to 120 km per hour without feeling strained, which makes it versatile enough for short weekend trips or daily commuting. Suzuki has also tuned the exhaust note to carry a retro character, with a slightly deeper, throaty burble at idle and a smooth growl as you climb through the revs. It's not loud or obnoxious but definitely has personality, a nice touch that connects back to the classic GS models. The transmission is a 6-speed unit with Suzuki's Easy Shift system, which allows for clutchless upshifts. This isn't just a gimmick, it adds a layer of smoothness and convenience, especially when you're riding in stop-and-go conditions. The gearbox feels tight and precise, and Suzuki has worked on ensuring minimal false neutrals, something that older bikes sometimes struggled with. The slipper and assist clutch also make a big difference. The assist reduces clutch lever effort, which is particularly great for newer riders or anyone using the bike as a daily machine, while the slipper function prevents rear-wheel lock during aggressive downshifts, keeping things composed. Moving to the chassis, Suzuki has gone with a tubular steel frame that stays true to the retro vibe but with updated geometry for modern handling standards. The bike tips the scales at around 175 kg wet, which puts it in a very manageable weight class. This translates to easy handling both at low speeds and when leaning into corners. The suspension setup consists of conventional 41mm telescopic forks at the front and twin shocks at the rear. While it doesn't use the most advanced upside-down forks or a monoshock, that choice is deliberate. It keeps costs down, maintains the retro styling, and still delivers competent performance for the kind of riding this bike is designed for. The ride is comfortable, soaking up city bumps and imperfections well, and while it may not be the most aggressive setup for track use, it's tuned for real-world usability. Braking duties are handled by a single 310mm front disc with a dual-piston caliper and a 240mm rear disc. ABS is standard, and Suzuki has made sure the system isn't intrusive, engaging only when needed. The brakes are progressive, with good initial bite and plenty of feedback, which matches the bike's approachable performance envelope. For the tires, Suzuki has partnered with Dunlop to provide retro-styled rubber with modern compound performance. They look classic but grip well in both dry and wet conditions. Now let's talk design, because this is where the GS400 Neo-Retro really shines. At first glance, it looks like a proper tribute to the original GS line, with a round headlamp, teardrop-shaped fuel tank, flat bench-style seat, and spoke wheels. But when you look closer, you see all the modern touches that make it a true neo-retro motorcycle. The headlamp is full LED with a classic chrome housing, giving you the vintage look without compromising on lighting performance. The fuel tank has subtle modern sculpting for better knee grip, while still carrying the iconic GS silhouette. The tail section is clean and minimal, with a slim LED brake light integrated seamlessly. Even the indicators use LED technology but retain a slightly larger, more traditional shape so they don't look out of place. One of the standout details is the instrument cluster. Instead of going fully digital, Suzuki has opted for a twin-pod design with analog dials for the speedometer and tachometer, complemented by a small digital display for fuel, gear position, trip meters, and other essential information. It strikes a perfect balance between nostalgia and modern functionality. Riders who grew up in the 70s and 80s will love the analog dials, while younger riders won't miss out on the convenience of modern readouts. The handlebars are slightly raised, giving the bike a comfortable upright seating position. Combined with mid-set foot pegs, the ergonomics are relaxed, making it suitable for both commuting and longer rides. The paint schemes deserve a special mention because Suzuki has leaned into its heritage. The GS400 Neo-Retro is available in a few classic-inspired liveries. A metallic blue with white striping, a deep red with gold pinstripes, and a black and chrome option that just oozes old-school cool. Technology-wise, Suzuki has made sure the GS400 Neo-Retro isn't left behind. Along with ABS and Easy Shift, it comes with selectable riding modes: Standard, Eco, and Sport. These modes slightly alter the throttle response and power delivery, giving riders flexibility depending on their mood or conditions. Price is always a key consideration, and Suzuki has been strategic with the GS400 Neo-Retro. The expected price tag is around $6,200 in international markets, or roughly 10.5 lakh PKR locally, positioning it competitively against rivals like the Royal Enfield Interceptor 650, Honda CB350, and Yamaha XSR models. It undercuts some of the larger displacement retro bikes while offering more refinement and features than smaller capacity machines. This sweet spot makes it attractive to both younger riders looking for their first serious motorcycle and older riders who want a stylish second bike that reminds them of the golden era. The unique selling points of the GS400 Neo-Retro come down to its balance of heritage and modernity. It's not just a nostalgia project, Suzuki has genuinely made it a versatile, fun, and reliable motorcycle for 2026. It captures the essence of the original GS400 with its styling and character, yet it adds modern technology, safety, and performance that riders today expect. It's approachable for beginners but rewarding enough for experienced riders who appreciate the design and history. So, if you've been waiting for a motorcycle that blends vintage Suzuki DNA with 21st century reliability, the GS400 Neo-Retro might just be the bike that ticks every box. It's stylish, it's practical, it's fun, and above all, it carries a story worth telling. That's what makes it stand out in today's crowded retro market, and that's why it's one of the most exciting motorcycles Suzuki has brought out in recent years.